again, that we've got to work hard to correct. Some positives from the game, but positives always get overshadowed by the negatives when you put bad football on tape. That being said, we'll go back to work this week like we do every week, and we'll start, getting prepared and make gains on the next opponent. That being said, I'll open up to any questions you may have.
Dan Duggan, The Athletic.
Hey, Joe, what did you see from Daniel, and specifically, how did you think he looked health-wise?
Well, I thought he was able to protect himself in the pocket, which is the main concern in terms of can he step up, can he move it. We knew that there was going to be some situations today where, he wasn't going to be able to pull it down and just, run as he had in the past. We knew it was going to lead to throwing the ball away or possibly taking sacks at certain points. That was something we knew going into the game. We saw some of that early on. But I thought overall he was able to show that he could protect himself in the pocket, and checking on him at halftime and checking on him throughout the course of the game. That was really kind of the feedback we got right there.
And did it get worse at all during the game, and is there any regrets about playing him?
No, I have no regrets on playing him. We made a calculated decision based on what we thought he could do as a player. We went out there, and as a team, we have to execute better.
Paul Schwartz, New York Post.
Hey, Joe. I don't know if you thought Daniel was rusty or anything like that, but what do you attribute to the overall offense? 10 first downs, 159 yards. Really nothing at all in the first half. What do you attribute that to if it wasn't only Daniel?
Well, I got to look at the tape before I make a lot of, statements outside. But, look, ultimately, we've got to coach better. We've got to play better, to execute. There's things that we did today in terms of turnovers and penalties. We've got to take those off the map. You can't have success when you do those things. Give them credit. They played well. They were able to get the ball off us several times. And, those led to points. So we got to make sure we do a better job protecting the ball and finishing drives.
Tom Rock, Newsday.
Joe, did Daniel re-aggravate the injury or hurt his? It looked like he was favoring his left leg there at the end.
I'm going to have to check with him right there. After the game, I kind of just touched base with him a little bit in terms of how he was feeling. But in terms of, where he is coming out of this game, we'll have, more news on that internally tonight and tomorrow morning based on how he feels.
And then can you just go over the decision on the 3rd and 1 deep in your own territory late in the third quarter? You cut through that pass down the sideline instead of pounding the ball and trying to get the first down?
There was a matchup we thought we liked right there. There's things we talked about going in terms of game plan and how they played and things we do to make plays down the field. That was part of what we discussed going through the week and what we practiced. Look, we've hit some of those throughout the season as well. They've been big plays for us. So we'll sit here right now and second-guess everything we did. We went in. We knew what the plan was. We'll look going forward if that's the best thing for us or not, and we'll make the decision based on the opponent and how we're playing within each game.
Pat Leonard, Daily News.
Hey, Joe, did you give any thought to taking Daniel out at halftime? And the fumble on the first drive seemed like something that he had cleaned up in recent appearances that shows up again. How critical is it that he protects it and that just protects the field position battle, if anything else? Well,
there's 11 guys on the field when that happens right there, so that's not, one person's fault. There's some things we have to do better in terms of communication, identification. It all ties together with protection, ball security. So it's not just one person on that play right there. In terms of thinking about taking Daniel out, look, we checked with him health-wise. We kept getting status updates on him right there to make sure that he was in, the right state to keep playing. The feedback was all positive from both him and the medical team. And then, on a side note, did we have conversations about getting Colt in the game? We had some brief conversations about it, but that was not based on health. That was based on, is there anything we need to do to change how we're playing game plan-wise and change up maybe some of the play calling or what we're doing on some of the other things we practiced. We made the decision that it was best to stick with what we were doing, and try to make some things work and kind of make some subtle adjustments right there. But as far as the conversation with Daniel, as long as his health stayed up, we're committed to putting him in a game today.
Matt Lombardo, Fansided.
Hey, Joe. It seemed like the offensive line really took a step back today after playing really well for the last month. What was the biggest difference there and what went wrong?
Well, let me look at the tape and kind of go ahead and break everything down before I make some bold statement right now. But those guys have been working very hard. I thought they made a lot of gains throughout the entire season. We'll take a look at what happened today. These guys did a really good job in terms of some of their packages and movement, and they had some good matchups. We have to finish better. We have to play better. So we'll take a look at that tape and adjust what we have to.
Jordan Rana, ESPN.
Hey, Joe. In retrospect, how much does it change your offense and limit Daniel when he can't run?
Say it one more time. Kind of skipped out a little bit on me there.
I said, how much does it change your offense and limit Daniel in general when he's unable to run? I don't think he attempted a rush today. That was obviously it's been a big part of his game this year. Well,
it's something that's been very positive for our offense this year is Daniel being able to run the ball and extend some plays right there. And he had a few today. He got outside the pocket, had some passes down the sideline, a throwaway and a completion down there at one point. Obviously, you take away part of the offense in any regard, it's going to affect how everything else complements itself right there. But, look, we'll work this week. We'll see where he's at physically. We'll make decisions going forward in terms of how he has to structure his game plan.
We'll take 2 more.
Do you need your offense at some point? I mean, you're scoring like under 20 points a game. I know you guys have been able to win that way. But do you need at some point for your offense to kind of, put some points on the board, significant points?
I mean, yeah, listen, we're playing complementary football is the goal right there. All 3 phases playing together there, Jordan. So, look, we're trying to finish drives and work as hard as we can to stay on the field. We didn't do a good enough job of that today. We got to do a better job next week.
We'll take 2 more. Zach and Art. Zach Rosenblatt, NJ.com.
Hey, Joe. This seems like the 3rd straight week special teams has been making some errors. There's the drop kick return, some directional punting issues, and coverage tackling. I'm just curious, how concerned are you about that group? I know you're talking about the 3 phases need to complement each other. How do you feel about that phase where you guys stand right now?
Well, this is a phase that's been a strength for us for a large part of the year. We got to make sure we just keep on moving forward. We got to get back to some fundamentals this week. Work as a team collectively and make sure we make gains this week on it. Cleveland's going to be a very good team in the kicking game. We're going to take all week to prepare for them right there. So we'll make sure schematically and fundamentally, we make improvements this week.
Last one here, Art Stapleton, the record.
Hey, Joe, I know you're not. I can tell you're not pleased with the execution in many facets today. I'm just curious, from an approach and an attitude situation coming into this game, were you pleased with what you saw from your team this week? Did you feel as though there were any effects from such a big win last week?
No, I don't think we had any kind of a hangover from going out to Seattle last week. I don't think that's a cause of it right here. And again, this game was completely independent of anything that happened before. We simply didn't come out today and we didn't, coach well enough. We didn't play well enough. And that's just the hard truth of it. We would do a much better job. One thing about our guys is I know they're going to show up tomorrow to watch the tape. I know they're going to show up on Wednesday to practice, and they're going to be locked and ready to roll. And we've got a mindset around here, and they're very committed to it. We're going to go back to work. And regardless of what the result was today, that's going to be the same approach, same mindset as well. So, look, it's going to take everything we had this week to prepare for Cleveland. They're a very good team. We've got to make sure we adjust and correct what happened today, and we got to move forward as a team. That's just simply it. Regardless of what the result was